Pahlavi text translated by E.W. West, Part 3, Saddar, Chapter 63, Clarendon, Oxford University Press, 1885. 1. The 63rd subject is this, that it is necessary to practice strict abstinence from adultery on this account, that through every one who beguiles the wife of another and commits iniquity with her, that woman becomes, in a moment, unlawful as regards her husband. 2. And after that, every time her husband comes around about her, it is just as though she had gone near to a strange man. 3. The righteous bestowal of herself on her own husband in this situation is always worse than his going with women of a different religion, on this account, that if that wife becomes pregnant, it is just as though one of the good religion had fallen away into a different religion, and thereby that man becomes worthy of death. 4. And it also happens, when that wife becomes pregnant, that she may effect the slaughter of the infant from fear of a bad reputation. 5. Then, for that person whose child it is just as though he had effected the slaughter of the child with his own hand, therefore he is worthy of death. 6. If the infant be born, and it remains in the religion, every sin that the child of his commits is, for that person, just as though it were committed by his own hand. 7. And if a woman of those of the good religion commits adultery, she becomes in a condition unlawful as regards her husband, and if an infant be born, it is illegitimate. 8. And the sin owing to this will depart at the time when that person goes near to her husband, and shall say, "What is there in me befitting thy wife?" 9. A calamity, ak, has occurred, and a crime, hata, has come into my body. Thou knowest that thou wilt exercise forgiveness, hafu, and if not, when it is not for me, do thou kill me. My blood is lawful, halal, unto thee. 10. If he shall kill her, her sin will depart, owing to this. Otherwise this sin will not depart from her in any manner. Nava'i. 11. And if one calls this sin a sin affecting antagonists, and so long as the antagonist does not become satisfied, the sin flows on, and they keep his soul back at the head of the Kinvad bridge, till the time that its antagonist shall arrive and himself accomplishes his antagonism, and they give him back a reply. Until modern times, it was generally just thought that execution for a single act of adultery worked. And it becomes now that I mean, how are they going to ever enforce it, even if they wanted to? It's just something that most people do. That doesn't make it any less wrong. It's just, Christianity tempers it as the people doing the punishment shouldn't be people with those sins. Islam doesn't have execution for a single act of adultery or a single act of homosexuality, or even in general. And they give him back a reply, verse 11, that is, investigating angels announce their decision as to the proper fate of the soul they have detained. The sin flows on. B29 has it flows on. If we read be rizad, but the Gujarati translator seems to take guna berazad, the Avestan berazant, as a technical epithet for the soul, as though he would say, they keep back the soul of him whose sin is rampant. The sin affecting antagonists are accusers. See chapter 42, verses 1 and 2. The manner, Nava'i, B 29 omits the words leading up to that. So the sin will not depart from her in any manner. And a calamity, you can pronounce ot. If the infant be born and it remains, LP and B29 have it does not remain, but the text seems to be assuming that the illicit origin of the child is unsuspected, in which case it would undoubtedly remain in the religion, as it would probably do in any case, whether the parents were bad or not. The child still could be upon the right religion, but the sin is equivalent as if, the worst had happened, right? Verse 3, and before the thereby that man becomes worthy of death. B29 omits this last and. Is always worse than is going. B29 has it never becomes a righteous bestowal of herself on her husband, and if in this situation he is also. And the righteous bestowal, LP inserts, he shall wish. So the righteous bestowal that he shall wish of herself.